Good afternoon, everybody. What's up? You see any trial going on? I don't see no trial going on. I don't see nothing happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. Don't take my word for it. I'll prove it to you. I got only fans going here. I only got fans. There's only fans. I'm not a fan. I don't like that. I don't like that. How was your lunch? Ugh. I was famished and feeling weak. Not going to kid you. I was famished and feeling weak. And I took food, like real food, which I'm not supposed to be doing. But I was like, I need food. I can't do it like this. I can't do it like this with just a fan here. No, that's not going to, that will not do. Are we live? Let's make sure, 100% sure. Live. I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. We're live. I'm good. I'm good. All right, let's leave it like this for now. Like this for now. What did I do with my showing this? I got a text message here I got to respond to. I never heard from George Santos. I was supposed to hear from him. Those of you who joined, who missed this morning, welcome, Karen Reed trial. We are in the middle of the cross-examination of Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe, who is getting assailed by Alan Jackson. Here goes her testimony. Kind of says the exact opposite of everything that the defense narrative is. Kind of stands in direct opposition to it. It's like she's saying that Brian never came into the house. Sorry, John O'Keefe never came into the house, and she hasn't spoken to Karen Reed since the day that John O'Keefe died. Been talking to everyone else, everyone but Karen Reed. She'd been talking to everyone. She's talking and telling over her story. If there was some killer, I was thinking about this at one point, and I didn't want to interrupt the trial when it was happening. If you don't know anything about Karen Reed backing into him, you kind of try to figure out, okay, how did he die? Right? I mean, if you're Jen McCabe, you're like, how did he die? What happened? What happened? Was he mugged? Was hit by a snowplow? Was it hit and run? We still don't know that another car didn't hit him. Jen could have left, another car could have come along and hit him. We don't know that didn't happen. The only thing that ties her to this accident is the broken taillight. That's the only thing. The broken taillight. Which there's all sorts of questions about this broken taillight. There's really nothing tying. I was thinking back. There's nothing tying Karen Reed to this murder other than her taillight. If it was just some rando who hit him with a car. If someone mugged him. Or something like that. Punched him. He fell backwards. I don't know. Some animal came and bit his arm afterwards. And he's laying on the ground there. I don't know. It takes everyone 10 minutes to find my live show. I don't know why that is. I don't know what the story is. I can't explain it to you. I was sure they'd be back by now. I'm not going to kid you. I'm sure they're going to be back. I have to forward on to Lady Lawgic a question someone asked me. I'm very. We're going to see lots about the broken. There's really nothing tying her there other than the broken taillight. Nothing. And her statements. I hit him. That's it. Broken taillight and her statements. Right? We got nothing. I thought they'd never. You think we're going to get to redirect, or is it going to be crossed for the next 2 hours? They really could be crossed the next 2 hours. Well, everyone's saying she said she hit him like 3 times.
Court is in session. Please be seated.
All right, can we have Ms. McCabe back, please?
While she's coming in, maybe we close.
What? Come on. That's not what we want to have happen there. Yeah, I think it's going to be cross all day. I agree. It's going to be cross all day. Cross all day. So she didn't say it to the grand jury. That's kind of crazy. She didn't say it to the grand jury. Somebody in some algorithm does not like me. That's definitely true. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I feel bad for you guys. You guys search me out. And they need to advertise on YouTube. I think that's what it is. Or put videos. Everyone loves putting out videos. I don't think they like the live streamers. Well, it could be that. Who the heck knows? Who the heck knows? Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you, Ms. Mel. So, if you're the McCabes, if you're Jen McCabe, is it Jenna or Jennifer? Everyone calls her Jen, but I'd search for you too. Like this city, no problem finding me. Never had a problem finding me on PC. Well, that's good. Post more shorts. People select the icon first. All right. Look at this. First on Rafe's feed. It is short for Jennifer. Yeah, so if you're Jen McCabe, I think you're like, and you haven't, and you don't know how John died. Why wouldn't she be talking to? Why wasn't she talking to him the next day? Like, when did they find the tail light? Like, she said she hadn't spoken to her. Why aren't you calling her the next day? Are you okay? You don't think that she killed him?
All right, sorry about the delay, Jurors. We were told that we blew a fuse, and that's why we couldn't get started on time. So these old courthouses. So, all right, we appreciate
these old courthouses.
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McCabe, when you first saw Ms. Reed's SUV pull up, very shortly thereafter, you sent a text to John O'Keefe, correct?
I walked to the door, saw the car, and that's when I sent him a text, yes.
Right. So you walked up to the door, saw the SUV outside, and then texted him something at that, basically while you're standing at the door.
I believe so, yes.
What did you text him?
Here?
Okay. That was, do you remember the time?
I don't know.
Would it refresh your recollection if you were to look at a series of text messages contained in a Celebrite report? I think you've seen this before.
Sure.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. May I ask one foundational question before
Okay.
I give this to the witness? Ms. McCabe, I'm going to ask you about a series of text messages. It's not a memory contest in terms of the timing. I'm going to ask you about probably 5 or so. All of those purport to be contained in here. Do you remember the times of those 5 texts?
I don't off the top of my head.
Do you think it would refresh your recollection to look at all those in one felled swoop as you look at this document? So I don't
Sure.
have to go back and forth?
Are these in evidence?
This is not in evidence to my knowledge. Not yet.
Would it help you to remember?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you bring it to Ms.
Thank you.
McCabe?
Thank you.
Thank you. This is just my sake. This one is. Yeah, I just think it's so much. Sure. I might turn to that. Ms. McCabe, if you wouldn't mind, take a look at the tabs, not that whole document, it's too dense. Take a look at the tabs and go in reverse chronological order and see if that refreshes your recollection about the time and content of text messages that you sent to Mr. O'Keefe those early that early morning of January 29th.
Okay. Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
You have it locked
I'm
away
not
in your
gonna have to
brain?
remember the exact times of all 5, am I?
I'll help.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. McCabe.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. I forgot.
Did you
I
see a
was
text
asleep.
on
I'm
here
sorry.
that was consistent with your
terrible.
memory that you texted here?
That's more
Yes.
appropriate.
And was
I'm
that
sorry.
at 12:14? I'm sorry, at 12:27 a.m.
I don't know if exactly. I'm assuming if it's on that paper.
If I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
That doesn't help him. She has to be refreshed. She can't be testifying what she just read. I made my head
I'll
smaller.
ask the counsel outside
Stop.
for just a minute.
I made my head smaller. Just stop it. Just stop it. Yeah, she can't say, I remember because I just read it off of your paper. It has to be that her memory, you're allowed to show a witness something, certainly if it's not in evidence. You can show them something. And you can say, was it around 12:27? But you can't, and maybe, but she can't be saying, well, your paper told me, your paper set claims it was 12:27, so I guess so. That's not, unless it's in evidence.
Ms. McCabe, we're going to make it a little easier for you, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
May I?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would offer the following stipulation at 12:14:27 on January 29th, 2022. Text message from Jen McCabe to, text message from John O'Keefe's phone to Jen McCabe's phone, where to?
That's the way you can get it in. Everyone stipulates that this happened.
At 12:20, all these are on January 29th, 2022 at 12:27:33 from Jennifer McCabe's phone to John O'Keefe's phone. Here, exclamation point, question mark. Same date, 12:31:47 from Jen McCabe's phone to John O'Keefe's phone. Pull behind me. Same date, 12:40:31 from Jen McCabe's phone to John O'Keefe's phone. Hello. 12:42:09. Text message from Jennifer McCabe's phone to John O'Keefe's phone. Where are the letter U?
Okay, thank you.
Finally, 12:45 and 53 seconds from Jen McCabe's phone to John O'Keefe's phone. Hello. I would offer the stipulation that those are correct times and dates and contents of the text messages between John O'Keefe's phone and Jen McCabe's phone on January 29, 2022.
All right, and that's what you're agreeing to, Mr. Brennan?
Yes, Your Honor, is contained in the Cellbrite report.
Okay. All right, folks, so I told you yesterday about a stipulation when I talked about something in the front lawn. This is similar. So what you just heard, both lawyers agree that that's information contained in a Cellbrite report.
And it's evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I continue?
Yes.
At some point, you indicated that, and by the way, Ms. McCabe, at 12:27, it's now been stipulated to, you texted a single word, here, exclamation point, question mark, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you seen him yet?
You indicate that you saw the SUV move up after it was in front of the 34 Fairview residence. It moved up some number of feet, correct?
The next time I looked, it was at a different location.
Right. Now, you did not see the white Jeep move from the place that you originally saw it in front of the mailbox, correct?
I never looked out at the white Jeep.
But you never saw that move ever.
No.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Higgins, that Jeep was in the same spot while Mr. Higgins was inside the residence until he left, correct?
That's what I would assume, yes.
Okay. And you never saw him go out and move his car and come back in or anything like that?
I never did, no.
After you, it's fair to say that once you noted that the SUV, Ms. Reed's SUV, was in front of the location, you started paying some attention to it.
I went to the door a few times to look out, yes.
As a matter of fact, in the course of about 19 minutes, you went to the door no fewer than 5 times, correct?
I'm not sure if it was 5.
You've indicated in
It's a little
previously
weird,
that
but that's what she is for him to show up.
for every time you
little
went to
weird.
the door and saw the SUV, you texted something, which are the texts contained in the document that was just stipulated to. Is that right?
I did text 5 times, you are correct.
Okay. So it's fair to say if you texted 5 times, then you went to the door 5 times, if those were associated with one another. You walked up, look at the door, see the SUV, and text something. Here, pull behind me, where are you? Those texts, correct?
I remember going to the front door, seeing the car and texting here. When I went to the door the second time, the car had moved up towards the flagpole and I texted, pull behind me because I thought, did they not know where to park? Did they think they were at the wrong house?
So my question is this. Every time you went to the door, you texted something.
I'm not sure that I did, yes.
Do you remember
I'm not sure that I did,
Do
sorry.
you remember a year ago testifying that every single time you texted, you indicated that you looked out at the SUV and saw something that prompted you to text something?
Am I aware that I said that?
Correct, that you
Could you-
testified to that.
Could you show that to me, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Take a look at the highlighted
Sure.
portion and just read that to yourself. Let me know when you're finished.
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
Ms. McCabe, does that refresh your recollection about the issue we were just talking about?
I see what's written down, yes.
Okay. Did you testify in answer to the following question? And as a matter of fact, you looked every single time that you texted, you indicated that you looked out at the SUV and saw something that prompted you to text something, correct? Answer, correct.
I answered correct to that,
Okay.
yes.
So if you looked out, I'm sorry, if you texted 5 times, that's all I'm getting to, you went to the door about 5 times.
I'm not sure. I remember definitely going twice. And again, if I misstated or I said I went 5 times, 4 times, I apologize.
Well, do you think this testimony is in error?
No, I don't. I'm thinking with my memory, it was 3 years ago, and I'm thinking that maybe I wasn't clear on that detail of how many times that I went to the door.
And
What I
certainly,
can tell you I'm clear on is that I did go twice, and I saw it. I saw it straight ahead. I saw it at the flagpole, and a third time further up. I cannot say with certainty with my memory today that I was up at that door every single time. I'm sorry.
and then, and by the way, when you testified, as you just saw,
Mhm.
that was a year ago, correct?
Yes.
A year earlier and a year closer to the event, correct?
Yes, it
So
was.
your memory would have been a little bit fresher then than it is now, a year later.
I don't think I can compare my memory then to now.
You can't compare your memory. Do you think your memory gets
Yeah.
better with time or fades a
Sometimes,
little with time?
well, some things, unfortunately, I think about every single day with this case, the trauma of it
Sure.
and what I experienced and went through.
Yeah.
And
my
there are
memory
some
gets
things that
better.
I am certain I will never forget. And I know for sure where the car was, and I know for sure I sent those 2 texts, but I apologize if I misstated. I went up more than I did. I'm just trying to give you what I remember today.
Let's talk about those texts and
Mhm.
and you looking out the door. You did approach the door and you saw that the vehicle was there the initial time, correct? That's 1.
When I texted here, yes,
And you texted here, exclamation point, question mark. Is that right?
correct.
And you indicated that when you first saw the vehicle, it was straight out ahead of you in front of the front door, and it was stationary. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Then you said you went back to the door and you saw that it had moved up, quote, a little bit. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Toward the flagpole. Is that right?
Was that the flagpole? Yes.
And when you saw that it had moved up toward the flagpole, then you texted again at 12:40, which has been stipulated to hello. Is that right?
When I saw it move up to the flagpole, I believe I texted pull behind me.
When you went the second time, and by the way, it's my mistake. I got I jumped over one. It was 12:31:47, which we stipulated to pull behind me. That's when the SUV was up closer to the flagpole, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Then you went yet again at 12:40 and saw the SUV yet again and texted hello. It was the second hello.
I'm not sure if that was when I texted hello.
But you did see that the SUV had moved again.
Yes.
Now where was it?
At first, it was straight ahead. Then it was at the flagpole. And then it was further up.
Then
I thought he was dead by 12:35, if according to the state. Meaning at 12:40, it's further up now. This is very, very perplexing because based on the whole timeline that Ian Whiffen gave us, it seemed like she was out of there already. This is very. I don't know what time they think she hit him. This is inconsistent. Now at 12:40.
at 12:42, 2 minutes later, you texted, "Where are you?" Correct?
Yes.
Okay. At that point, it was still up by the flagpole.
No, I'm not saying that it was still outside.
Where was it?
I'm not sure where the vehicle was.
At 12:45, you texted yet again, "Hello." Is that right?
Yes, I did.
You indicated that was you texted hello the last time you saw the vehicle. Is that right?
I'm not saying that today, no.
Well, did you say it previously?
In my testimony, did I say that the last time I texted? Do you have that written that I could see?
You just read it.
Well, that was your question that you had read to me. I never came out and said that.
Ms. McCabe, I asked you if you testified to that a year ago. That's my question. Did you testify to that a year ago, that when you went, every single time you went to the door, you texted something because seeing the vehicle prompted you to text something to John?
That's a summary of maybe the
Did you testify to that a year ago?
to what that when I went to the door. Yeah, different times when I went to the door, I did text, yes.
And then you testified as well that you went to the door a final time and saw that the SUV was gone. It had left, correct?
Yes, at one point I did.
And that was just a couple of minutes after your last text at 12:45, is that right?
I'm not sure of the time.
Matter of fact, you've testified previously that it was around 12:50 that you last went to the door and noted that the car was completely gone. Is that right?
I'm not sure of that.
You're not sure of that?
No, if you could show me, I'd appreciate it.
At some point, did you note that the vehicle was gone? Let's get to that.
Yes,
Around what time was that?
I do not know.
12:45, a little before, a little after?
I'm not sure. I can't give a time.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at how you testified to that particular time last year?
Sure.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you. The highlighted portion,
Thank you.
Ms. McCabe? May I?
Yes.
Ms. McCabe, does that refresh your recollection as to what time last year you indicated that you went to the door and saw that the SUV was gone?
It says on the paper that I was asked if after 12:45 it was gone, and I answered correct.
Okay,
I never gave a time.
all right. And that coincides with the last hello that you texted to John's phone, correct?
Again, I don't have that paper in front of me. Is that the
Well, that's
time?
the stipulation. That's what you don't need to worry about
Okay.
that. That's been stipulated to. Your last hello text was at 12:45.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So that coincides, that testimony from last year coincides with your last text message saying hello. You noted that the SUV at that point had gone, had left, correct?
Correct.
So if I hear your testimony correctly, you saw the SUV in position 1.
Yes.
There was a text or something, or 2 maybe. Then you saw it in position 2. You went back to the door and noted that SUV had moved and it was now closer to the flagpole, correct?
We've just asked 2 questions.
It had
Oh my
moved
God.
closer to the
The
flagpole.
Oh my
first
God,
question
come
is you
on.
said I saw it and I sent a text or 2. I know I just said 1 here.
Okay. Then you saw it a second time
Correct.
and now it's closer to the flagpole.
Yes, correct.
And there's texting going on. I'm not getting down to the minute of the text, but there's texting going on. You're sending texts.
I'm sending, yes.
Okay. Then you went back to the door a third time and saw that it had moved beyond the flagpole, correct?
Correct.
Then,
Every time she looks in my
according to
direction, I
your
think
testimony
she's full of
last year,
crap.
you went back to the door at least a 4th time to see that it was gone, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so at bare minimum, based on your testimony today, you were at the door, looking out the window at that portion of either the yard directly in front of you, and in front of the house, or toward the flagpole, or beyond the flagpole 4 times, correct?
From last year's testimony, but what I remember today
No,
with
Ms. McKay, that's not
certainty
my
is
question.
twice.
You need to let her answer the question. Answer your question, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. What I remember certainty is looking at it out front at the flagpole and beyond. I don't remember how many times I went up to the door. I was back and forth.
Right. But according to you, you saw the car in 3 different positions, correct?
Correct.
So that's at least 3 times to the door, correct?
Correct.
And you saw the car gone, right?
Correct.
3 plus 1 is 4, correct?
Correct.
So now you're telling us that you went to the door a minimum of 4 times and looked across that yard at the SUV, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You had a clear view of that SUV as you looked out that storm door every time you went to the door, didn't you?
It was dark and snowing, but I could see a vehicle out there, yes.
As a matter of fact, you've indicated that it was a clear view. There was nothing obstructing your vision, correct?
No, there was nothing but the weather conditions.
And you indicated that, and by the way, the blizzard had basically just started. There was a dusting on the ground.
It was snowing. It was accumulating.
Right. But
Yeah.
it was early in
Correct.
the storm.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right. And when asked about whether or not you had a view, well, let me ask it a different way. In terms of your view of the SUV and the distance from the storm door to the SUV to that curb line, there was nothing obstructing your view. You had a clear view of that, a good view of the SUV, correct?
When I looked out the window, I could see the SUV in front
Don't
of
take
me.
my word
Yes.
for it. I'll prove it.
At no time during any of this interaction with the door, meaning going back and forth through the storm door, texting, looking outside, seeing the SUV in position 1, seeing the SUV in position 2, seeing the SUV in position 3, at no time did you hear any noise that was unusual, did you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't hear any screaming.
No,
You didn't hear any yelling,
no,
no loud voices,
no,
no foul language.
no,
You didn't hear a door slam.
no,
You didn't hear a verbal argument or a fight of any kind.
no,
You didn't hear a revving engine.
no,
You didn't hear the squealing of tires or the scraping of tires on the pavement.
no,
You didn't hear a collision take place
no,
or a crash
no,
or screams for help,
no,
moaning, groaning as if someone was in distress.
no.
As you looked at the SUV the first time, you've already indicated that you had a clear view straight out the door, right? It's right in front of the front door as a crow flies, right? It's not at an angle.
Right there. Correct.
Okay. You also previously indicated that you saw tire tracks in the roadway.
Yes.
In that very, very light dusting of snow, the accumulation that you talked about, you saw tire tracks of some sort.
Yes.
So that's down on the ground, beyond the yard, somewhere in the roadway.
In the street. Correct.
You had a good view of those tire tracks as well, correct?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you were able to describe those as sort of almost a wave, I think you once said.
Yeah. Across the street. I could see it because of the street light that was across the street.
Okay. And that presented at least enough illumination based on your view. You could see the tire tracks in the snow.
Yes. Over to the left. Yes.
And you've detailed not just the shape of those tire tracks as being sort of like a wave, but where those tire tracks were, correct?
No, yes. Yeah.
Where did you see them?
I believe over to the left. If I'm looking out straight. Oh, sorry. Straight.
So if you're looking outside at the SUV, I'm just going to turn my back to the jurors for a second for perspective. If you're looking outside the door, when you say straight out, the SUV is straight outside. When you say to the left, you mean to the left of the SUV on the ground. That's where you saw the tire tracks.
Yes.
Like somebody might parallel park or something.
Kind of a wave. Yeah. I can't really explain what it was. I just saw it.
You weren't paying special attention. You weren't looking for tire tracks, were you?
No, when I glanced out, I saw it.
You weren't looking for anything in the roadway at that point. You
everything
glanced
perfect.
out. There was something in your peripheral vision, and you made note of it.
Yes.
I saw tire tracks. That sounds ridiculous. That
And
sounds.
the only thing between you and the SUV as you looked out was the lawn.
Correct.
There's no ditches or hills in that lawn. It's a flat lawn, correct?
I wasn't looking at the ground. I was just kind of looking like I am at you
That's
right
not my
now,
question.
straight.
You know that lawn. You've been in that house 100 times, 500 times. There's no ditches or berms or hills or mountains on that lawn. It's just a flat lawn, right?
So tire tracks, but not
I
John.
guess you could categorize it as flat. Yeah.
Can we take a look? May I approach you?
Yes.
She's taking notice of the tire tracks, but not of the man purportedly reeling in pain after getting hit in the face by a taillight. Oh, yeah. Wow. Look at those tire tracks. Oh, man, those tire tracks are really something to see.
I do. Yes.
What do you recognize that as
Help
being?
me, Jen.
34 Fairview.
That's the same photograph with just a little modification on it that you saw.
Oh my God!
Your Honor, I would ask that that be marked as.
Look at how they're digging into
Okay.
that light snow.
Wish to publish.
Oh my gosh!
Not for identification, no.
I'm happy to move it into evidence.
Your Honor, if I may, if it's marked for identification, I wouldn't object to showing it.
Okay. All right,
It's a chalk at this point.
okay.
May I publish?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, no one saw him,
Yeah,
assuming he was
yes.
still there.
Thank
But
you.
There you go.
she sees the tire tracks.
Well, can you make that? There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, this is what we need.
What's depicted in that photograph?
34 Fairview?
Do you see the front door that you went in?
I do, yes.
Can you point it out for the jurors, please?
Sure. Right there.
Okay, the one with the brick steps leading up to it.
Yes,
Now, with this perspective, can you point out the side door?
sure.
That looks like a screen door just to the right of the hedges.
Yes.
With that perspective, can you point out the garage door?
Or that one. Sorry.
That's just to the right of the window inside that recess of the home?
Yes.
And does that fairly and accurately depict the lawn as it was on January 28th, 29th? Other than the fact that it's
Indeed,
different
brother.
weather, the
Right.
shape of the lawn.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll put that down, Mr. Wolf.
So what was that marked as, Madam Court Reporter? Thank you.
Your Honor, I would ask to move that in evidence. If we need to take a minute on that, I'm happy to, but that is my request.
Is there an issue?
No, I won't object.
Okay.
All right, look. Maybe,
Thank
I
you, Your Honor.
guess, it's possible. I don't know. I think a lump of a man would be more noticeable. Screaming
May I
in
continue?
pain,
Yes.
that probably would be more noticeable than some tire tracks, but you know.
The first
That could
time
be
you
a
looked
funny
out over
thing.
that lawn to the SUV, you did not see John O'Keefe, did you?
No, I did not.
He was not outside that SUV.
No,
He was not standing or sitting.
not that I saw.
He certainly wasn't on the ground, was he?
Not that I saw.
The second time you looked out and saw the SUV, now the SUV is more toward the flagpole, correct?
Yes.
And you had a clear field of view between you standing at that door and the SUV. You've already described that view, correct?
I can see the SUV, correct.
Correct. And you could see everything in front of the SUV as well, couldn't you?
I just would go to the door and look at the SUV. I wasn't taking in all the surroundings of.
Right. But just like you weren't taking in the surroundings, specifically looking at the tire tracks, you saw the SUV standing, sitting right in front of you, you saw that through your peripheral vision, you know, the tire track.
Yes, and that's lighted where around the SUV was very dark.
I haven't asked you about lighting yet. We'll get to that.
I'm
You
sorry.
looked at Tire tracks, even though you weren't looking for tire tracks, right?
Yes, I
You know,
did.
Something stood out to you in your peripheral vision. Just looking out, there they are.
Yes, absolutely. Hmm.
Absolutely.
That second time you looked directly at the SUV with no obstruction between you and the SUV, you did not see John O'Keefe standing outside the SUV.
No,
He wasn't sitting down.
no,
He wasn't lying down.
no,
You certainly did not see his body in the snow toward that flagpole.
no.
And you would have been looking directly toward that flagpole, correct?
I was look-
Directly,
I was looking at the vehicle.
directly toward the flagpole, Ms. McCabe.
I was looking in the direction of the flagpole
Right.
at the vehicle. Yes.
And you saw no body in the snow, did you?
I didn't look for a body in the snow.
I didn't ask you if you looked for one. You weren't looking for tire tracks either, were you?
Oh,
You saw those,
I did see those. Yes.
and you did not see a body in the snow.
There you go.
No, I did not.
Rev it
John
up.
O'Keefe, 6'2", 216 pounds, brawny guy, big boy, right?
I don't think I'd refer to him as a big boy, but he was tall. Yes.
All right. You certainly didn't see him prostrate in the snow the way you found him the next morning, correct? Later that morning,
I didn't see anything on the ground. No.
correct? The third time you looked out toward that SUV. It's still in the direction of the flagpole, but a little further up, a little deeper to the right, correct?
Yes.
Again, looking directly in the direction, at least, of the flagpole and that area of the yard, you're looking beyond that to the SUV, correct?
Yes.
You did not see John O'Keefe standing outside the vehicle?
I did not know.
He was not sitting outside the vehicle,
No,
and he certainly wasn't lying on the ground, was he?
I didn't see him.
And the last time you looked out, Miss McCabe, this is now 12:45 or so. The last time you looked out, the SUV was gone. Is that right?
Yes.
But you were still looking in that direction because that's the last place you saw the SUV. Is that right?
I looked out the window like this. I wasn't searching anywhere, but just glanced out the window and I didn't see it.
I'm just asking you a direction, not whether or not you were searching. I know you didn't sit down search party. That's not my question. My question is, were you looking toward the area where you last saw the SUV around 12:45 a.m.?
Yes.
And isn't that where his body was found?
Directly past the flagpole. And
His body's
directly
found by
into
the flagpole.
Where you last saw the SUV, correct?
I glanced out. Yes, correct.
And the same way you glanced out at the SUV, to use your words, glanced out and saw the tire tracks, right?
Correct. Yes.
But you did not see John O'Keefe standing on the lawn.
No,
You did not see him sitting on the lawn.
no,
And you certainly did not see his body lying on the lawn, did you?
no, no, I did not.
Ultimately, you left the location that night, the gathering at 34 Fairview. Is that right? You didn't spend the night there?
No, I went home.
About what time was it that you left the location?
Approximately, it was after 1:30. Approximately 1:30, 1:45.
So this is maybe an hour later, later than what we've just been discussing.
Yes.
Seeing the SUV. Who did you leave with?
I left with my husband, Matt, and Julie Nagel and Sarah Levinson.
Who was driving?
Sorry, my husband, Matt, was driving.
And where was Sarah Levinson and Julie Nagel sitting in that SUV?
They were in the back seat.
By the way, what kind of SUV were you in that night?
A Yukon. Big-
Four-door,
yeah, big-
extended seating?
Yes,
When the SUV pulled out of the drive, it was in the driveway?
yes.
When the SUV backed out of the driveway, doing a three-point turn, backed out of the driveway, did it go toward Chapman or did it go toward Cedar Crest?
It went towards Chapman.
So as you backed out of the driveway, you would have been heading up toward the flagpole side of the property rather than back toward the driveway side of the property, correct?
Correct.
You would have driven directly adjacent to the area where John O'Keefe's body was later discovered at 6:04, 6:03 a.m., correct?
Yes, correct.
You were seated in the passenger seat of the vehicle, not the driver's seat.
Correct.
You were seated in the front of the vehicle, not the back seat.
Correct.
You would have been closest to the yard as y'all drove past, correct?
Correct.
That's a newer model Yukon. I'm assuming that the headlights automatically turn on at night.
Yes.
So the headlights were illuminated.
Yes.
Did your husband, Matt, did he turn on the brights or did he leave the beams on low? Or do you know?
I don't know.
But certainly the area in front of that SUV, that Yukon, was well lit.
The lights were on. Yes.
You did not see anything out of the ordinary as you drove right by that location, did you?
I was looking in the back seat when we were driving.
Did you see anything out of the ordinary on that lawn as you drove by in that SUV?
No, because I wasn't looking at the lawn.
Yes or no?
You certainly did not see John O'Keefe dressed in dark clothing laying prostrate in the lawn.
No, I did not.
You said that you were turned around talking to the other young ladies in the SUV, Julie Nagel and Sarah Levinson. Is that right?
Yes.
You indicated that you were engaged with them about a conversation having to do with bread and maybe peanut butter or something.
Yes.
You didn't, as you passed by that location adjacent to where John's body was later discovered, you didn't hear Julie Nagel say anything out of the ordinary.
Look at that man laying there by the flagpole.
You didn't hear Sarah Levinson say anything out of the ordinary about having seen something.
No.
And according to you, you were turned around, directly engaged with both these young ladies as you passed by that area where John's body was later discovered. Is that right?
When we pulled out, I turned around and I was talking to them about the bread and the peanut butter. I'm not sure exactly where we were driving, but it was when we pulled out, yes.
You certainly never heard anybody say anything like, what was that, or anything close to that.
No, I didn't.
I'd like to turn your attention to your arrival back at 34 Fairview just after 6 a.m. the next morning. You indicate that the visibility was relatively poor and that you could not see John O'Keefe on that lawn from your perspective, correct?
The visibility was extremely poor, and no, I could not see him.
You were in the front seat, passenger side.
Yes, I was.
It was Karen Reed who actually saw Mr. O'Keefe, jumped out of the car, and began attending to him immediately, correct?
Karen got out of the car and ran to John O'Keefe.
And you stayed by the car, and Miss Roberts ran over to assist Miss Reed in giving first aid to, at least initially, to Mr. O'Keefe. Is that right?
No, that is not. Carrie got out and walked over, and then I got out and walked over.
That's what he just said.
You indicated that well, let me ask a different question. Yesterday, you testified in pretty significant detail that when you got out of the car, you could not see anything even close to the flagpole, correct?
Visibility was very bad, yes.
Matter of fact, you used the word whiteout conditions. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Whiteout conditions, you basically can't see your hand in front of your face.
I wouldn't say that extreme, but I used whiteout as there's just snow coming at you.
You were specifically asked by Mr. Brennan, how close did you have to get before you could actually see anything of note where Miss Reed had gone? Is that right?
Yes.
You testified yesterday that you could see just merely shadowy figures of Miss Reed and Carrie Roberts, and it wasn't until you got very close over to them that you could see John, in your words.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, you followed that up by saying that that was the first moment, once you got basically on top of them, that was the first moment that you realized that it was John, that there was a body on the ground, correct?
I said as I got close to them, I don't think on top of them.
Fair enough. It's my words, not yours. You did say, quote, very close to them, correct?
I'd have to see it, but
Well, you just
It was
testified to
fine.
it yesterday. Do you remember saying, I get very close to them?
I know I said I had got very close to them or close to them, something like that.
Okay.
Yes. hmm
I don't have a transcript of yesterday's testimony. I'm sorry. Last year, you testified to something very different than that, though, didn't you?
No.
Isn't it true that last year you testified that you got out on the passenger side of the vehicle, which is, we'll agree, the furthest side from the lawn, as Ms. Roberts was driving from Chapman toward Crestview, Cedar Crest, correct?
Yes.
You testified that you were on the passenger side, and as you got out of the vehicle, you noted that Karen Reed was already at John. Is that right?
As I got out and walked around the back of the vehicle, the shadowy figure of Karen had already gotten onto something.
You further testified that as you got out of the vehicle, you noted that she straddled John, lifted up her shirt, and went to lay on him. And Miss Roberts went over and said started removing snow from John's face. Correct?
I have the page and line number.
Where are you,
Sure.
Mr. Jackson?
May 17, 2024, RT 114, lines 14 to bottom onto 115, line 4. Is that how you testified last year?
I'm sorry, would you mind just repeating it?
Sure.
Thank you.
You testified in substance that you were on the passenger side of the vehicle, and as you got out, quote, as I got out, end quote, she, Miss Reed, was already at John. You indicated that you saw her straddle him, lift up his shirt, lift up her shirt, and lay on top of him while Miss Roberts went over and removed snow from his face. That's how you testified last year, correct?
Object.
Is that how you testified last year?
I'm not sure. I know,
Next question.
Would it refresh your recollection if you look at a copy of your testimony from last year?
I don't think looking at it would refresh my memory. I know I might have used different words, but the bottom line is I got out of the car, went behind the car, went over, and Karen had done that.
Ms. McCabe, I'm asking, do you think it would
So I'm guessing y'all were correct that Karen is the one who lifted her shirt up.
sitting on that witness stand? I'm asking, do you think it would refresh your recollection to see your transcript from last year?
I don't need to see my transcript. I know what I know and I know what I remember. So
That's not my question. I'm not asking what you remember now. I'm asking how you testified a year ago, man.
whether I said it was as we're fighting over silly words, whether I said it as I got out of the car, we were there.
Words matter. They matter a lot.
Okay, so remember, Mr. Jackson, no comments.
Oh my God, shut up.
Ms. McCabe, can I answer his question?
Okay.
Do you remember exactly how it is that you testified last year?
I do not know.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
I need 5 minutes. Might be a little bit more than that.
Ms. McCabe, does that refresh your recollection as to how you testified in substance last year?
I see what it says I said, but it's a little bit different than what you stated.
Okay, then let's walk through that. Did you indicate last year that as you got out of the vehicle, that's when you could see what Miss Reed was doing with John O'Keefe, down to the detail of pulling her shirt up and pulling his shirt up to try to go skin to skin?
I object. And
Why don't I see it sidebar? Why don't you bring it up with you, Mr. Jackson's face? All right, now you can go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. McCabe, is it true that you had the following colloquy last year on this subject? Answer, I was on the passenger side, so as I got out, she was already at John. Question, so she gets out and essentially makes a beeline over to where John was. Answer, correct. Question, and you're getting out of the passenger side, and by the time you come around the car, she's already there. Answer, yes. Question, and when she gets over there, what, if anything, could you see at that point? Answer, she straddles John and lifts up his shirt. And then she lifted up her shirt and went to lay on him. And Miss Roberts went over and she was removing the snow from his face. Is that how you testified last year?
Yes, that's how I answered the questions.
Okay. Clearly, you didn't indicate last year that it was whiteout conditions. You could see nothing of the kind, and you had to get, quote unquote, very close to him before you could see anything, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. It's the first word that's problematic, Mr. Johnson.
Yesterday, you testified that it was whiteout conditions. You had to leave the car, walk all the way over and get, quote unquote, very close to John before you recognized that it was even a body. Is that right?
Yes,
But last year, you testified that you were still at the car when you noted the detail of Karen basically giving life-saving aid to John. You could see that clearly, all the way from the car, right?
Objection.
Is that what you said, Ms. McCabe?
no,
Is there a reason, Ms. McCabe, that you might wish to improve your testimony this year than last year, over last year, with regard to the distance that you could see Ms. Reed engaged with Mr. O'Keefe?
no,
Are you trying to suggest or improve your testimony to suggest that you had no idea that there was a body there and nobody reasonably could have even seen a body there as you drove up?
Objection.
Is that what you're trying to say, Ms. Reed?
Ms. McCabe.
McCabe.
can you repeat the question, please?
Not sure. I'll give it a shot.
I'm sorry.
Are you trying to improve your testimony this year over last year to suggest that reasonably nobody could have seen where John was from the car?
I'm not,
What you're trying to do?
I'm not trying to improve my testimony, no.
You claimed on direct examination today, as a matter of fact, that Ms. Reed looked at you at the scene and said the phrase, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." She said it 3 times, very distinctly, according to your testimony, correct?
She did, yes.
That was so impactful that it had the effect of putting you in some sort of shock and horror. Is that right?
I was in shock the whole morning, but that statement definitely was a lot.
And that's an incredibly memorable statement for you to have heard and now recount to us in this trial, correct?
Correct.
Something that you wouldn't easily forget or overlook. Is that right?
Something I wouldn't.
Something you would not easily
Correct.
forget or overlook. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Matter of fact, some might say it's the centerpiece of your testimony.
Objection.
Sustained.
Ms. McCabe, you testified at a grand jury in April of 2022, did you not?
I did, yes.
Before you testified, you took an oath, very much like the oath that you took before you testified in this case, correct?
Correct.
You swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, correct?
Correct.
And that included the whole truth at the state grand jury, correct?
Correct.
That was only weeks, several weeks, but weeks after this incident, right? April 26th versus January 29th, 2022. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Things were much fresher in your mind then than they are now.
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Especially something as momentous as an admission from my client that she hit him. Would you agree?
Would I agree that she said that?
Would you agree that that would be fresh in your mind? Something as momentous as that. You wouldn't forget that.
I will never forget it.
You wouldn't overlook that.
I will never forget it.
You would not overlook that either, would you, Ms. McCabe?
I answer the questions I'm asked.
Can you answer the question that I just asked? You're not answering my question. Would you overlook that?
No.
And the reason you wouldn't overlook it is because it was so impactful on you, having heard that. Not once, not twice, 3 times. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Is that right?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
Take a look at that document and tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, I see it.
Is that a transcript of your entire testimony at the grand jury in April of 2022?
I believe so, yes.
You've reviewed it in the past?
I have read it about a year ago, yes.
You read it in anticipation of your testimony a year ago, correct?
Yes, I reviewed it.
Have you reviewed it in preparation for your testimony today?
No, I haven't.
Yesterday. Ms. McCabe, turn to the page or pages in that transcript where you recount to the grand jurors that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
This is over 227 pages.
Take your time.
How long did you say it was, Ms. McCabe?
227?
I'm not going to let her read 227 pages.
You reviewed it before, haven't you?
I reviewed it a year ago, yes.
You read the whole thing cover to cover, didn't you?
I skimmed through it.
One of the most important points in your testimony yesterday and today is recounting these jurors the phrase, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Is that right?
Objection.
To the form of that, I'm sustaining it.
Was it important to you to tell these jurors that you heard my client say, I hit him 3 times?
I answered the questions and I'm telling the
Was it-
jurors what I know.
Was it important to you before testifying today that you recount to these jurors the phrase, I hit him, coming out of my client's mouth?
Your client said she hit him, yes.
That's not my question. Listen to my question, Ms. McCabe.
I'm sorry.
Was it important to you before you testified to tell these jurors under oath that my client said, I hit him 3 times?
As a juror, as a witness, it's important to tell the truth and to answer the question you were asked.
And in point of fact, in your entire grand jury testimony, you never said, my client said the words, I hit him, did you?
Again, it's 227 pages.
Ms. McCabe, you were there. They're your words. I'm not asking you to rehearse something. You were there. Did you tell the grand jurors that my client said I hit him?
I have testified a number of times, but I was there the morning of January 29th when your client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Did you tell that to the grand jurors?
I'm not sure.
It's because you didn't, did you?
Again, I'm not sure.
Ms. McCabe, you were asked in your grand jury testimony no fewer than a dozen times, 12 times, 12 separate times, you were asked to repeat words that my client said both before, going to, and at the scene at 34th Avenue that morning. Correct?
Objection.
Do you know the answer to that?
No.
You were asked multiple times what my client's words were that you heard her say going to and at the scene, correct?
I was correct.
And you recounted those words truthfully and honestly at that time, correct?
Correct.
Because you were under the same oath that you're under today.
Correct.
And things were much fresher in your mind then than they are now 3.5 years later. Would you agree with that?
I hit him is just as fresh today as it was 3 years ago.
Turn to page 190, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
For court and counsel lines 10 and 11.
Which lines? I'm sorry.
10 and 11.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You recounted what Ms. Reed said to you over the phone to the grand jurors, correct?
Correct.
And what she said at 4:53 a.m. was, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? She didn't say it. She asked it, correct?
She didn't say that.
Did you testify that what Ms. Reed said to you that morning over the phone was, could I have hit him? Did I hit him?
Yes, I did.
May I approach?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Just wanted to verify a page number, Your Honor. May I approach?
Yes. Why don't you tell Mr. Brennan the page number?
I will, with each one. If you turn to page 192. Line 4. What did you tell the grand jurors my client said in that answer?
Foundation.
What are we talking about?
I'll ask it a different way. Did you answer a question on page 192, line 4, concerning my client's statement?
Did I answer a question?
You were answering a question, correct?
Oh, yes, yes.
All right.
I'm sorry.
And the answer that you gave to the grand jurors was, she said, could I have hit him? Correct?
Yes, that's part of the answer I gave.
Turn to page 193.
I'd object.
So I don't want to have to see it sidebar. We need context in order for this to be admissible, Mr. Jackson. I have no idea what that said.
This has gone so
If you
good.
want, I can make an offer of proof at sidebar if you
Okay,
wish.
why don't you come to sidebar?
Sure.
And bring
This,
in,
this has gotten so good. Ah! Oh, don't worry. I know you didn't see my face. You didn't see my face. I heard the whole back and forth. He's hitting her about her grand jury testimony, saying you got 270 pages worth of grand jury testimony. Read it. Read it. Did you ever say I hit her, I hit her, I hit her? I was listening. Don't worry. You didn't see me. I had to let someone in the room here, and there's going to be a lot of noise. I didn't want to distract you all, so I just sort of like stepped out for a couple minutes. But I was listening on my phone, and I saw, yeah, she's not presenting well. I would not say she's presenting well. It's not, and I like how he's like, it's not like I'm giving you a script to read. This is what you said. Did you ever say it? Wasn't any pressure. She's so deflective. Hold on 1 second. Let me just give me 2 seconds. Deflecting from everything. Let me make sure we're live. Are we live? Give me 1 second. I close the door.
May I first witness?
yes.
Do you have an
Deflecting.
extra
I'll never
copy for
forget what
yourself,
I
Mr.
heard.
Justin?
It's as
Okay.
fresh today as
I
it
think
was
my
back then. Yeah, well, you didn't say it at the grand jury 3 weeks later. That's a problem. That's a problem.
On page 192, line 4, for context, were you talking about a statement that was made in Karen's car on that morning before you got to the scene?
192.
192, line 4.
Yes, that was a comment she made in the car.
And she said the phrase, you recounted that she said the phrase, could I have hit him? Correct?
Yes, that was part of my answer.
Take a look at page 193, line 1 through 2. This was also in the context of a conversation that was in Karen's car, correct?
Yes.
And the phrase that you attributed to my client was, could I have hit him? The question, correct?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Page 193, line 23. In the context of being in John's driveway at One Meadows,
Yes.
and you attributed the statement, and she's asking if she could have hit him, correct?
Yes, when she showed me her taillight.
Page 201, lines 23 and 24. This is driving to Fairview.
You did tell me to buckle up.
She asked, what if I hit
You
him?
did.
Could I have hit him? Correct?
Can you tell me the lines?
I'm sorry, lines 23 and 24.
Hank, line, please. Line,
Page
please.
201.
Line, please.
Okay, I've read it.
She stated, according to you, what if I hit him? Could I have hit him? Correct?
Yes, she did.
Page 202, top of the page, line 1 and 2. Again, in context, this is driving to Fairview before you arrived at Fairview. And she again asked, quote, according to you and your testimony in front of the grand jury, could I have hit him? Correct?
Yes, I see that here as part of my answer.
Then turn to page 208, lines 24 and 25.
Someone did some quick work for him to get him these precise pages.
I'm sorry, what lines 24 and 25?
Oh my
Lines 24
God.
and 25. Let me know when you've
I've read them. Thank
reviewed
you.
those. For context, this is at the scene outside Fairview.
Yes.
And you told those grand jurors under oath, she asked, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Correct?
Yes.
But
On
now
page 208,
you're saying I hit him, I hit him, I hit
lines
him.
24 and 20, I'm sorry, 208 and 209, going on to page 209, lines 1 through 3. You actually recounted to the grand jurors a conversation that you said my client had with a female EMT standing right there, exactly as you testified to today. Female EMT. You see that?
I do, yes.
And what did you say my client's statements were in front of that female EMT?
In this, I say that she said, could I have hit him? Is he dead?
Remember
It's
this
actually,
clear today.
did I hit him?
Oh, sorry, I missed that part. I
Right.
apologize. Did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead?
And that was at the scene
Not 3 times.
in front of
not
the
I did.
female EMT, exactly the scene that you're describing. You attributed the 3 statements to my client to today. correct?
There was many different times when we were talking to different EMTs, the
Oh my
female
God.
EMT, the men, police officers.
Oh, so I only told you about the time she was asked the question. I didn't tell you when she actually admitted it. Doofus.
Yeah, just a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Doofus. I didn't tell you about it. I didn't tell you the time she confessed to it. I told you about the times that she was asking someone else if she could have hit him. I decided to keep to myself the times that she actually admitted it outright. Wow. Wow. Shame. 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 Shame.
Yes,
Shame.
McCabe, your full statement at page 208, starting at lines 22 through 25, going on to page 209, down to line 4, was, quote, so there are different, police officers getting statements from us. And at one point, I'm standing with Miss Reed, and she's saying, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And there was, I believe, an EMT, a female, standing right next to me, listening to her yelling, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? It was pretty much nonstop. That was your testimony in front of the grand jurors, correct?
Yes, it was.
And that was April 26th, 2022, correct?
Correct.
Less than 3 months.
Not one time, Ms. McCabe, did you utter the phrase, I hit him, as it relates to my client in front of that grand jury on April 26th, 2022. Did you? Not once.
I'd have to read through the 227 pages to see.
As you sit here today, do you remember ever saying to those grand jurors, she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, in front of a female EMT?
I've spoken to in a few grand juries. What I said specifically at different ones, I don't recall at this moment, but I do
remember
know
like it happened yesterday.
that morning your client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him 3 times, and there was a female EMT there.
Unbelievable. 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 Just stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. What an embarrassment you are.
You spoke with Trooper Proctor just the same day, right? January 29th.
Yes,
Trooper Proctor was taking notes
yes,
about your conversation.
yes, he was.
You reviewed those notes as a matter of fact, at some point.
I didn't review his notes. I think I've seen a report at one point or another.
Did you correct his report?
On that very day, January 29th, 2022, when you were asked to recount what happened at the scene, who was doing what and who said what. You never told Trooper Proctor that my client said, I hit him either, did you?
Oh, I told him. Yes, I did.
He just leave that out of his report?
I'm not responsible for his report.
No, you're not. But you have read his report.
So again, no comments, Mr. Jackson.
You have read his report, right?
I have seen it before, yes.
May I approach you?
Yes.
Thank you.
You looked at that report for another particular this morning. Do you still recognize it?
Yes, I do.
Can you review that report, scan it, and let me know when you're done?
Okay, is there something specific I should be looking for?
Yeah, you should be looking at what he had for coffee.
For, I hit him.
So again, jurors disregard the comment.
Because she's being an idiot.
Question answer format only.
My
Yeah.
question is, do you see the phrase, I hit him, as it's attributable to my client in that report?
Objection.
Sustained.
We don't know what the objection is.
Do you recall telling Trooper Proctor that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him?
Objection.
Do you recall that?
Yes, I told him.
He was taking notes at the time.
He was taking notes, correct?
Those notes ended up being memorialized in a formal report.
I'm assuming he,
The report that you're holding.
I object.
Sustained.
Does that appear to be a report of the January 29th, 11:35 or so a.m. interview that you did with Trooper Proctor?
yes, it does.
You said you reviewed that report in the past,
Yes, in the past.
and you're aware in no place in that report
Nice.
does the phrase "I didn't show up" anywhere, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Can I approach?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's wondering what the objection is. Because I don't know what the objection is. He's allowed to lead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm the first witness. Sorry, Mr. Brennan. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm being vague. I was just grabbing the report back. Sorry. May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
I want to draw your attention to the very
Look,
early
it's good
morning
for
hours
Jen.
of January 29th, around 4:53 a.m. when you indicated you received that phone call from Kaylee's phone. Do you have that time and date in mind?
Yes, I do.
My client told you that John had not come home, correct?
Yes,
And you knew that Miss Reed at that point was awake and looking for John.
Oh, no, they are not.
I didn't know what, I just knew that she was awake and screaming.
Right, because she was worried about where John was.
Objection.
Sustained.
You've been asked who you communicated with first thing that morning after you received that first call from Miss Reed. Is that right?
Yes,
You were asked by Trooper Prince in her formal interview. Trooper Prince interviewed you on February 1st, about 3 days after the incident, correct?
I met with a lot. I don't really remember specific
Do
days.
you remember a female trooper
Yes, I do, actually.
in your house?
Yes,
Or I should say at your house?
yes.
That was around 3 days after the incident?
Was it Tuesday, maybe? Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I think so, yes, if
Okay.
it's the one I'm thinking.
3 days later. Happened on Saturday.
You were also asked at the same grand jury who you communicated with on the morning of January 29th. You
Okay,
remember that?
not specifically.
Would it refresh your recollection if we were to take a look at that, a specific page of that grand jury transcript?
Sure.
Do you need a couple of minutes, Mr. Jackson?
I do, Your Honor.
So, juries, why don't you stand up and stretch, okay?
All right, let's do the jumping jacks part of our afternoon
Okay,
here.
James, okay.
Everyone, Zumba. This is a good time for me to remind you all that the reason that I am streaming the current trial, the reason why this happened.
Mr. Jackson, do you want a 5-minute recess?
Okay.
We're still going to stop at 4, so really 5 minutes, folks. We'll have you go back.
The reason I do this thing that I'm doing is for subscribers. You might say to me, Joe, how's it going for you? How's it going for you? The subscriber count, how's that going for you? Is it working out well for you? You've been streaming this thing for a week. Are you pleased with the results? Are things going well for you? When I started this trial, I had to I had 100,342 subscribers, and right now we are all the way up
and hundreds
to
of new Earths were terrified.
100,336. That's right. I have lost six subscribers. Oh my god. I know when I pull this up, I never pull this up because when I do, invariably some schmuck is very excited to see the number go down. They'll unsubscribe from me. This I know I'll go down to like 34 or 33. Yeah, that's right. I've lost, I guess you could call it a win because I've lost only 6 subscribers since I started streaming this trial. 7. I think it was 343. It's pathetic. It's unbelievable. Instead of losing my regular 20 a day, I've lost only 6. That's right. So if you would do the courtesy of hitting like and subscribe, I'd be much obliged. Much obliged to you indeed. Pathetic. I might hit 58 million. Oh my god. It's terrible. It's terrible. I was like, when I saw my numbers like pulling down for a while, I was like, all right, Karen Reed trial, I'll like get my regular trial bump. Nah. That's it's just retarded. It's insane. Anyway, getting back to the stuff that we're here for. Yeah, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you trying to help the cause. It is so. 10,336. Yeah, it is so. 100,336. If Jackson makes John's family turn on McCabe, if Jackson makes John's family turn on McCabe, it's all over for the McAlbert clan. Win for Karen Reed. Well, I don't know that John's family is going to turn on. It's going to turn on McCabe so fast. I don't know that they have any facts on McCabe's. I'll tell you right now, I think that she is being whittled down to a nub. I mean, she's sitting here claiming everyone else took it down wrong. People took down my information wrong. I can only answer what I'm asked. Oh, yeah. And I also told the other grand jury the 3 weeks after the fact that she was asking, did I hit him? And now I told you all, I remember it clear as it happened yesterday. But 3 weeks after, she didn't remember clear as it happened yesterday. So, yeah. Yeah, what does that say? Bruce Rice hit me with 20. 20 new followers. 20 new members of the following. Those of you who joined the channel and brought in, I would appreciate if you can express your gratitude to Bruce Rice. We have time. Should I take a look? Should I take a look and see who's been brought into the following? My evening show is called The Following Program, and thus those who joined the program are called followers. But please rest assured that even though it's got a name like The Following, it's not at all a cult type of cult. And I am very, very much not the leader of The Following. I'm just a host. Just a host. And who was gifted? Look at that. Rafe L. gifted. Jack Reynolds gifted. Bruce Rice, you gifted yourself. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen someone. Bruce, give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen someone manage to gift themselves membership. That's a first. Well, good job. Good job. Sean Poe, gifted, courtesy of Bruce Rice, as well as Jim P., Isaiah Redmist, Michael Kramer, Karen Mason, Richard Daniel Jr., Iowa Backyard, Tammy, Will H., Gina Oxen, Shaft, Hey, J.A. Tyler, and Kulf 2A, all of them, as well as Patty Bilsma. Oh, Redmist, look at you. Brought on in here. All of them gifted courtesy of Bruce Rice's. I appreciate those of you who are expressing your gratitude. Part of the following is that the following is just a community of like-minded individuals who are all seeking greater personal growth through community, unity, learning, and thinking. Community, learning, Community unity, learning, and thinking. So, welcome to the following. God bless you, Bruce. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm watching her get whittled away. I'm watching her struggling here. And this is the part of cross-examination. You knew she was going to get hit on hard. You knew she was going to hit on hard, especially because she's like, and it said 3 times. Every time she said 3 times. Every time she said 3 times. This is at best case scenario, these are newly formed memories. Newly formed and contorted memories. Everyone's on the same page here all of a sudden. Everyone's saying 3 times. All of a sudden. Where does that happen from? How could such a thing happen that everyone's saying 3 times and no one said this stuff beforehand? You know, you can say you sound like a conspiracy theorist. You would tell me they're not supposed to be talking to each other. Thomas Nunnally now is saying say it 3 times. Jen McCabe making a big deal about the fact that it's specifically 3, not 2, not 4, 3. Every time 3. It's just like, and she even said every time she would say stuff 3 times. And yet, when you look at the grand jury, she didn't say the phrase "hit him" in any form 3 times. It was, "Did I hit him? Could I hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead?" 2. Did I hit him? Could I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? This is strange, to say the least. Strange, to say the least. And she thinks that she's like, if she thinks she's not getting killed here, she's not reading the room. At some point, she looks worried, like a John family reaction to her. Oh, that could be that she knows that they're disappointed. That could be that. Could be that they're going to be disappointed because she's doing such a lousy job on the stand. The following is not a cult. It's not a cult but the Diggers. The Diggers are a cult, and Joe is our Jewish Jones.
Back in session, you may be seated.
All right, you all set, Mr. Jackson?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, we're bringing the jurors over. Are we still on schedule?
We are.
Okay.
Someone walked in. What happened? What happened? Where'd we go? Oh, there we go. All right. Did I miss? Have I been missing rants? It's possible I'm missing rants. I don't think so. Bella Bayou was gifted a membership by Faulkner Media. Thanks, Faulkner. We're looking at a ceiling fan because that's what they're giving us. They love showing us the ceiling fan.
The scores of session, please be seated.
They want to make sure we don't see the jury, probably. That could be that. When they're coming in.
All right, whenever you're ready, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McCabe, I want to draw your attention back to the morning, later in the morning, after you're back at 34 Fairview, after the police have already cleared the scene, and you're back with your friends and family inside the home at 34 Fairview. We've already talked about the fact that the witnesses were not sequestered in any way. They were not separated in any way by the police. Is that right?
We were just sitting together with friends
Right.
and family. So yeah, no.
Everybody was free. All the friends and family that were in there were free to talk amongst themselves, which you did do, correct?
Yes.
All right. Everybody had the opportunity to say their piece and to listen to others say their piece as well.
We had conversations. It wasn't really nothing more than that.
At some point you did, I think you mentioned this on direct examination, you did reach out to Mike Lank. Is that right?
Yes.
Remind us who Mike Lank is in your world, in addition to being a Canton police officer, police sergeant, I think he was at the time. Who is he in your world?
He was just a local guy that I, knew was friendly with.
And had gone to high school with?
No.
Was he ahead of you in high school?
We weren't in high school at the same time.
Got it. He was about 5 years ahead of you, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. But you'd known him or known of him from basically childhood or young adulthood.
Yeah, just knew him from around town.
At some point, you decided that you were going to call Sergeant Lank back to the scene because there was a piece of information that you wanted to provide him again. Provide him so he needed to come back again.
Yes,
Ultimately, you called him on his cell phone, right?
I did. Yes.
So you were close enough that you had his cell phone number. He had your cell phone number.
No, I didn't have his cell phone number.
Where'd you get that number?
I asked Julie Albert for that number.
So Julie had his cell phone number.
Yes, she did.
And Julie is Chris's wife.
Yes.
She was at the location.
Yes.
When I say the location, 34 Fairview that morning,
Yes.
as was Chris.
He came at some point. I don't know if he was there when I called Officer Lank or not.
As was Brian Higgins, correct?
Yes, he was.
He came back over to the location as well.
Yes, he did.
As a matter of fact, it was Brian Higgins who suggested that you reach out to Officer Lank.
I'm not sure if it was him who suggested it.
Someone suggested to you that you reach out to Officer Lank. Is that right?
As I was sitting there remembering things, I believe, I can't say who did or didn't.
So as you were sitting there remembering things, you weren't just remembering things, you were remembering things and then telling others things that you remembered.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yes.
others were absorbing whatever information you were providing to them and vice versa.
No one was really providing me any information because they didn't know what happened.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just sitting there trying to recount what had transpired since I got that 4:53 phone call.
And one of the things that you decided you wanted to tell Sergeant Lank was a statement by my client.
Yes.
So you call Sergeant Lank on his cell phone, and you're able to get a hold of him, correct?
Yes.
Whatever he's doing, I'm guessing he was busy at the time.
I don't know what he was doing.
He was the first responder on a death of a police officer case that was just hours old. So he had to be busy.
I would assume. I, again, don't know what he was doing.
But in fact, after you got your phone call, he dropped everything and headed back to 34 Fairview, correct?
Assisting.
Did he come back to 34 Fairview quickly?
He was
Didn't get
there
his luck.
fairly quickly, yes, I
And
would
that's
say.
at your request?
Yes, I called him and asked him to come back.
Because you told him that you had information that was important enough that he needed to get over there so you could tell him in person what this new information was.
I called him and told him that I was remembering things and asked if he could come back.
And he didn't just say, yeah, just tell me what it is over the phone. He literally said, okay, I'm going to get in my car, drive in a blizzard. It was still a blizzard, right?
Yes, it was.
I'm going to get all my gear on, drive in a blizzard back over to 34 Fairview, get out of my cruiser, come into the house, and get ready for this new information that you're going to give me. Correct?
He did not say all that, no.
No,
He
that's
said, I'll be
what he
over.
did.
I have no idea what he did. I called him and then he came.
Well, he didn't
That's,
walk over. He came over his car.
This
Right?
sounds so
I would assume
defensive.
so, yes.
Right. So he had to get his car, drive over to the blizzard, get out of the car, walk through the blizzard, go to the front door, and get ready for this new meeting that he's going to have. Correct?
Yes, that seems like steps one would take.
And whatever it was that you wanted to tell him, you let him know it was important enough to have a special additional meeting. It wasn't something that you were just going to sit on. You wanted to give him this information immediately without hesitation, correct?
He said if I remembered anything to give him a call, so I did.
So when he came back over, he obviously had a notepad and a pen in his hand, correct?
I believe he was taking notes.
And you told him, you testified this morning that what you told him was Karen Reed said, I hit him, right?
Correct.
But what he wrote in his report you said, she said, I hope I didn't hit him. Correct?
I don't have his report in front of me.
Everyone's report is wrong.
Yeah, just one minute.
Yes.
Yep,
Thank you.
you're welcome. If you could turn to the orange tab. Do you see that?
I do, yes.
Okay, and you've had a chance to read it?
Just the highlighted
Okay.
part.
May I approach?
Yes.
In fact, what you told Officer Lank was something to the effect of, I hope I didn't hit him. Correct?
Incorrect. I told him that she said I hit him.
He wrote in his report that you just read something to the effect of,
Sustained.
I hope I didn't hit him.
Sustained.
Is this another example of an officer getting a report wrong?
Objection.
Is
It's
that
not
report right?
evidence.
Your Honor. Objection.
Sustained. Move on, Mr. Jackson.
It's not in evidence, so you can't use this to rebut or refute her at this point. You have to get into evidence, which would have to be substantiated by Officer Lank, that's what he wrote in his report. So
I hope I didn't hit him, or something to the effect of, I hope I didn't hit him. Sounds an awful lot like, could I hit him? Did I hit him? Do you agree with that?
It does sound similar, yeah.
that's true, rest of town. It wouldn't be. Well, it could be a statement of fact rather than guessing.
You testified yesterday that
Could be.
during that first phone call, that first phone conversation
Okay.
with Ms. Reed at 4:53 a.m., she told you, according to your testimony, that in that phone call, in that very first phone call, Ms. Reed said she had gotten into a fight. Her taillight was cracked. And she asked, could I have hit him or did I hit him? Correct?
Incorrect.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
The first phone call, she had said we got into a fight and he didn't come home and I left him at the waterfall. In the second phone call, once I told her that I saw her outside of my sister's house on Fairview, that is when she said, could she have hit him, and talked about her taillight.
So 2 hours after Ms. Reed found John O'Keefe and began giving him CPR, you were interviewed by Sergeant Sean Good, correct?
Objection.
Ask the question differently, Mr. Jackson.
2 hours after Ms. Reed found Mr. O'Keefe, about 2 hours later, say 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, after the scene was cleared, you were interviewed by Sean Good, were you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
May we approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I don't know what the objection is. I don't know what the objection is. And I assume that's what he's asking. Like, why are you? What was the objection? So I have no idea. He's asking to testify with fact, using the timing relation to when they found the body. I don't know why that is an objection. I don't know what's sustained. I don't know what the hell is happening. So I assume that's why Alan Jackson's going up there. But I'm pretty sure she didn't tell Officer Good, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. This is look, maybe she hit him, but she didn't say she hit him. And I'll tell you right now, yes, me, Jen McCabe is full of hot garbage. She's, if you ask me, I think she's full of hot garbage. It doesn't make any sense at all. Full day of cross-examination.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you. While you were at the scene, after Miss Reed had been giving CPR, Sean Good interviewed you, correct?
I don't remember a formal interview with Sean Good.
Do you remember talking to him?
When he arrived at the scene, I do remember briefly talking to him after all three of us gave John CPR.
And he asked you certain questions about what you'd seen, what you'd heard, what had happened, correct?
I have to tell you that I remember seeing him there and I remember talking to him, but I do not remember specifics of any conversation or any questions that he asked me.
Do you remember him do you remember him asking you about any initial calls you had and you telling him about that 4:53 call and the early morning calls thereafter, the initial calls before you met up with Miss Reed?
I don't recall.
Did you tell Sergeant Good, by the way, he's a sergeant at the time. Sean Good was a sergeant, not an officer.
I'm not sure.
Okay. By the way, you knew Sergeant Good, did you not?
I didn't know him. I knew of him, like I knew his name, but that was it.
How'd you know of him before that day?
Because his sister is a year or two younger than me, and I knew she had a brother that was younger, that was a Canton cop, just through the town, but I didn't know him.
Okay, friendly but not friends.
I wouldn't even say I was friendly with him.
Okay. You actually told Sergeant Good at the time when he asked about those first phone calls that when Miss Reed called you, she was inquiring about John's whereabouts, correct?
Again, I don't recall my conversations with Sean Good.
You certainly never mentioned to Sergeant Good the incessant screaming and hysteria that you've described here in court.
Objection.
Did you ever mention anything
Characterizing
about
her testimony.
an argument or a fight to Sean Good?
Objection.
Sustained, Mr. Jackson. She said she didn't remember. Next question.
I have to go through the series of machinations. I don't know what she remembers and doesn't remember.
Next question, Mr. Jackson.
That's ridiculous.
Did you mention anything about a cracked taillight to Sergeant Good?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you have no memory at all about what you talked to Sergeant Good about?
There were many officers there.
Right.
And like I said, I know I talked to Sergeant Good, but I do not remember the specifics of my conversation during that chaotic scene.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
Let me ask a different question. There were many officers there and many officers were asking you questions, correct?
Correct.
Did you did you tell any officer while at the scene that during those first few phone calls, first couple of phone calls with Miss Reed, that there was incessant screaming and hysteria?
Again, there were many officers asking me questions. Most of them were regarding who John was, if he had medical issues or concerns, things like that.
Right.
It was a chaotic scene. I don't remember any specific questions about phone calls. I apologize.
But you did tell at least one officer about the initial phone call that you received indicating that John may be missing, correct?
I possibly said, I got a phone call and that's why I'm here. We all came out to look for him. I apologize for not remembering specifics.
Did you tell any officer at the scene anything about an argument or fighting that Miss Reed said occurred on that first
One
couple phone
officer.
calls?
Again, the conversations were very brief and they were with a lot of different officers. There wasn't
yes or no?
in-depth conversations.
yes or no?
Let her answer the question.
Do you recall? That is a yes or no question. Do you recall telling any officer about a conversation in the initial couple of phone calls that you had with Miss Reed about fighting or being in an argument? Do you recall that?
I cannot answer yes or no.
Well, you either do or you don't. If you
I
don't,
said
just say
there
you
was
don't.
many different conversations. I am not sure.
So you don't recall.
So you don't remember saying that.
I'm not sure on specific conversations about
don't
that. I
tell me
apologize.
anymore.
Is there a reason why you're not telling us that you simply don't recall making that statement?
Sustained.
Do you recall telling any officer about a cracked taillight that came up in one of those first 2 phone calls
At the scene,
at the scene?
again, I think all the conversations were about what was happening in the present time.
And literally, this was a couple of hours after this incident, correct? When everything was freshest in your mind.
These conversations were at the scene when Miss Reed was running around screaming.
This was 2 hours after.
Were you also interviewed by Officer Mullaney?
Again, there were many officers there that I spoke to.
Ms. McCabe, do you understand my question? Did you understand the last question I asked you?
If I spoke to an officer, Mullaney,
Correct.
again, I could have. I am not sure. I don't remember every officer. It was a chaotic scene. I had just found my friend on the ground.
So the answer is, I don't remember.
I
Correct?
don't remember speaking to him. No, sorry.
Later that morning, you did have a conversation with Officer Lank that you actually do remember, correct?
Yes, correct.
What you told Officer Lank or Sergeant Lank was that you received a phone call from Kaylee's phone and that Karen Reed was distraught because John never came home, correct?
I told him she was, I don't remember the exact words, but I told him something like she was hysterical and screaming and said John never came home.
You never mentioned that she said anything about a fight during that initial phone call, correct?
Again, I'm not sure what exactly was said during that initial phone call.
You never mentioned that she said something about a cracked taillight in that initial phone call or those 2 phone calls, correct?
Are these phone calls with who? Who are these phone calls? Who am I speaking
The
to at this
initial
point?
phone calls that
Mhm.
you had with Miss Reed,
Yes.
you never mentioned to Officer Lank or Sergeant Lank that Miss Reed mentioned anything about a fight or an argument, correct?
I don't remember.
You never mentioned anything about having Miss Reed saying anything about a cracked taillight in one of those 2 initial phone calls, correct?
Again, I don't remember all the things that I told Officer Lank.
And you certainly never mentioned that Miss Reed said anything about could I have hit him in either of those initial phone calls, correct?
Again, I don't remember my specific conversation with Officer Lank.
So you don't remember the conversation that you had with Officer Lank when it was the clear light of day. You had a chance to take a beat and a breath, catch your breath, because it's now 11:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. You don't remember anything about that conversation. But according to your testimony, you remember in detail what my client said, waking you out of a dead sleep. Correct?
So I didn't speak to him at 11:30. It was earlier in the morning when he came back to Fairview.
Let's call it 9 o'clock. Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. It wasn't the same chaos as my client screaming into the phone that John never came home, waking you out of a dead sleep, correct?
Correct.
But when you recounted that conversation or those conversations to Sergeant Lank, you didn't say a thing about Miss Reed saying that there had been an argument, did you?
I'm saying I don't remember the specifics of my conversation with Officer Lank. I'm also saying that I was woken up out of a dead sleep. Karen showed up at my house screaming. I went out to help her look for John. And then we found one of my
Why didn't you
closest friends
say
on the
this?
front lawn.
Oh, stop
And she
it.
was saying
Oh, my
crazy
gosh.
things and acting crazy and
Ms. McCabe,
acting
that's not my
erratic.
question.
And so every
Ms. McCabe,
police
that is
officer
not
that
my
I
question.
spoke
Let her
to,
finish.
every police officer that I spoke to, I tried to answer their questions the best I could. It took me hours and in some cases days to remember all the things that Miss Reed had said. My mind, I was in a state of shock. But the minute I remembered, she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. I called Officer Lank.
And your memo.
And you didn't tell him that, though. He didn't write down you told him that.
Correct?
There are certain things I will never forget, Mr. Jackson.
Including the fact that you never, ever, ever said, she said the words I hit him to a grand jury when you were asked about it 3 months after the incident. Correct?
She said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit
You
him.
never told that to the grand jury, did you?
I don't remember specifically that every grand jury and everything I said, but I can tell you with 100% accuracy, she screamed, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
You never said that to the grand jury.
I don't recall if I
You were
did.
there to get the truth, correct?
The truth is, she said, I hit him,
And
I
in
hit him,
fact,
I hit him.
You were asked that specific question at the grand jury. What did she say at the scene in front of the female EMT? And you know what your answer was? You do, because you just read it.
I wasn't asked what she was said at the scene.
What was the answer to that question?
I'm objecting.
The objection sustained. Ask one more
Oh,
clear
for
question.
crying
Mr.
out
Jackson.
loud.
What was the answer you gave in answer to the question about what
I'm
was
so
said
sick of
on
this.
this read to the EMT, the female EMT at the scene? What did you say she said?
I don't know if I was asked specifically what she said to a female EMT.
All right, we're going to end this now.
Your Honor, may I have one more question?
Go ahead.
I can't end it like this. You said,
Okay,
she
jurors,
said,
ignore the comments of counsel. Ask one question, Mr. Jackson.
you said that she said, could I have hit him? Did I hit him in the presence of the female EMT? That's what you testified to under oath at the grand jury, isn't it?
Yes, because she also said that.
All right.
So, folks, we are done for
But she
today.
also said that now.
Um,
Oh my
Remember, tomorrow's the day that
God!
we're not in session.
Oh,
So
now she
we will
also
see you
said
Friday.
that.
Friday is a full day. And I
Now
have to
she
give you those
also
questions.
said
Stay
that.
File out after the jurors disappear. Please do not discuss this case with
Wait,
anyone.
are we having
Don't do
trial
any
tomorrow?
independent research or investigation into the case. If
I gotta
you
go back.
happen to see, hear, or read about the case, please disregard it and
back.
let us know.
I gotta go back and see. Wait, what? See you Friday. See you Friday. See you Friday. What's tomorrow? Oh my gosh, you leave us on a cliffhanger where all of a sudden Jen's got a new story. She also said that. Oh my gosh.
Tomorrow is the day that we're not in session. So we will see you Friday. Friday is a full day. And I have to give you those questions. You can stay and file out after the jurors disappear. Please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into the case. If you happen to
No
see,
court
hear,
tomorrow.
or read about the case, please disregard it and let us know, and be very careful with your social media. Have a great night, a good day off tomorrow. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you.
Rise to adjourn.
We'll see if there's any. Oh my God. Oh my God. She also said. Oh my gosh. Wow. Is that what it is? It's Israeli Independence Day? That's probably it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. She also said. I think.
Mr. Jackson, I'm not rushing you in any way. I just want to know how much longer do you think you'll be?
I appreciate that, Your Honor. 10 seconds to end the question.
Sure, take your time.
I would expect that I would say an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay. Mr. Brennan, do you have any idea how much longer you will be?
With Mrs. McCabe,
Yes.
um,
The rest of the
it
day.
depends on how the rest goes, but
Right.
certainly at this point, 20 minutes or less.
Really?
So that will hopefully take us to the luncheon recess, maybe, I mean, the
I think
morning recess or the luncheon recess at most. You have witnesses lined up for Friday afternoon?
I do. I have a number of witnesses ready for the next 3-4 days, and I've
Okay.
given notice to them, and I will try to tighten the order tomorrow morning, and I'll let the court and the defense know.
Great. All right. And nothing you need to see me about right now?
Not for the Commonwealth.
All right. All right. We'll see you on Friday.
Oh, so there's no hearing, no nothing tomorrow. We get a full day off. Look at that. I thought maybe there's going to be some sort of hearing on something. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Unbelievable. This is insane. I judge to be absolutely ashamed. This is so insane and disgusting. I hate this. No regard for justice, just protecting our friends and family. Pure corruption, hypocrisy to tell jurors to be unbiased. Yeah, it is pretty hypocritical. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm wondering if Nick was freaking out about that last statement also. I'm going to check up on him because that was funny stuff. That was funny stuff. That was funny.
You know, by the evidence presented to the court. So certainly there can be evidence that is too prejudicial,
No,
more prejudicial, and has nothing to do with the matter at hand. So it's not probative. That happens. But generally speaking, as long as the, as the evidence is relevant to the issue.
Really? All right. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was crazy. Yeah, she's got another hour and a half to 2 hours. This is what they told us. Got another hour and a half to 2 hours. And we're going to review before I dismiss the class today. I'm going to end up reviewing with you what we got in the afternoon session here. So those of you who, filed in late, so this way I can get you all up to speed as to where we are in this whole thing. But and tomorrow maybe I'll make some videos about this. Maybe I'll just sort of have like little condensed. Do you guys think, I'm going to put up a poll here. Do you think it's better to do a breakdown of the day or of the witness? By witness or by day? Like, because we had 7 days and I'm torn. If I'm going to make videos, I'm going to by the day or by the witness. So if I make like, I can make like a 15, 20-minute video about like synopsizing the day, or, longer videos for some witnesses, much shorter for other ones, and what do you guys think? What do you guys think? That's my question for you. I didn't get a chance to thank Michelle Yenyo Skinner for her gifting of 10 Good Logic memberships. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I gave you a little nod, but I want to thank you, Michelle. So I'm gonna make that as a poll, assuming I make videos, which I really think I have to. Better would you prefer breakdown by witness or by day? Yeah. And I'm going to check Rumble also. You can tell me in Rumble. Summary vid. By witness. By day. Let me see what you're saying in Rumble. Witness day, witness day, day. Witness. That's like 50-50. Absolutely by witness. Keeps it clean and logical. By day just breaks it up weirdly. All right. Maybe I'll make that like my own little homework assignment. I'll be busy tomorrow making videos. Making videos to start uploading witness by witness. That's a good idea. I'm pulling up the Rumble people. But a day. So Rumble's saying day. Witness. 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 Day. I will tell you that YouTube seems to have a pretty heavy leaning towards the witness. Yeah, I think I ended up doing it like that. I think I ended up doing my witness. I think I ended up doing it like that. I got to figure out how to download all these massively huge videos because it's not easy to download long videos. So I got to figure out how to do that, but we'll see. We'll see if I can break that down. You'd love to see a breakdown witness by witness first trial versus second trial. That's much harder for me to do. Like I sort of feel like, Margaret O'Keefe, Peggy O'Keefe, whatever. Like I would want to show like some clips of her. And maybe summarize like right afterwards how they wanted to share a video of a clip of Karen Reed going. So she leans over the island and she says to me, "He looks like he got hit by a car." Whereas Peggy O'Keefe says she never did that. And the reason they wanted to show it was because it makes Karen Reed look like a heartless bitch. That she's like snarkily, almost mocking this mother who suffered terrible tragedy. All right. Go live tomorrow and go over Jen's last testimony compared to now. Maybe. We'll see. I'm probably going to end up spending tomorrow working on videos. That's what tomorrow's probably going to be. Tomorrow's probably going to be that. I promised I was going to give you a little breakdown as to what happened since lunch. Let me do that real quick. It's short since lunch. All right. So, since lunch, we started off asking about 5 texts that she sent out and going back and forth with her as to whether or not she went to the door each time that she sent the text. There were 5 texts. First one saying here, then just pulling behind me. And she went back and forth at least 4 times. And the amazing thing is that she said that she saw tire tracks in the snow, but she did not see John O'Keefe laying there. So after she saw the last time she went there, she took mental note. Oh, there's tire tracks. Very convenient. I see tire tracks, which don't really prove anything at all if you think about it. Clearly, if there's snow on the ground and Karen Reed drove away, there's going to be tire tracks. But she's made mental note of the tire tracks. I remember seeing the tire tracks. They were kind of like this. I remember seeing them. They were kind of like this. I can't really describe it. This is her words. Her words are, I can't really describe it. Well, it looks like you're making like a wavy kind of tire track. But then you can describe it. But she didn't see John. She glanced out. I didn't see him. She's like, there's no screaming, no tires. She's like, doesn't hear a crash, doesn't hear an argument, doesn't have anything, nothing. She didn't see him. I didn't see him. I didn't see the 6'2" guy. I did see tire tracks. Okay. And also saying that there was nothing blocking her visibility other than the elements themselves. Then when she said she left roughly an hour later, so she's in the front seat of a car. Her husband, Matt McCabe, is driving the car. Behind her is Julie Nagel and Sarah Levinson. And she claimed that she's looking back over her shoulder, which is why she didn't, even though they backed up and went basically, they drove right past him, and he was right by the window, supposedly, according to the state, dying. She didn't see him there because she's busy looking back over a window, which I guess is possible. And then she said when they were finding the body, they had to get there was a whole issue that in the last trial, she said that she saw him as soon as he got close, as soon that she saw him as soon as she got out of the car. This part I thought Alan was trying to hit on her a little too hard, because it could be that she was saying I saw Karen on top of him, but she might not have been able to see as John or what Karen was doing, but she sees Karen doing something, and she later learned it's him. So she'd say, when she's recounting it, I saw Karen on top of him, even though at that moment she couldn't see John O'Keefe's face. Meaning now she says, I couldn't see John because the conditions were so bad. And the implication, and Alan Jackson even called around this, the implication you're trying to say is the only way that Karen could identify John from where she was and sitting in the car is if she knew he was there because she had hit him with the car. That's what she was trying to say. That's what she's trying to tell the jury. And when she was questioned about that specifically, so Jen claimed, no, I'm not trying. I'm just telling you what happened. And she was accused of trying to improve her testimony because she wants to have better testimony now to help make sure she puts Karen or Reed away because the first time didn't take. So now you're saying I can't see him. Back when we testified a year ago, you were able to see him. You said as soon as I stepped out from behind the car, I see Karen on top of him lifting his shirt, lifting her own shirt to try and give him body warmth and administer CPR. But now you're saying you didn't see him until he was standing up close because it was so hard to see. So now you're trying to basically make her look worse that she knew that his body was there, even though there's no way she could have actually seen him. But I think that the discrepancy in her testimonies could be that now she's being more precise as far as what moment she's able to visually identify him. And the last time, she was basically synopsizing the entire scenario and saying, look, when I stepped out from behind the vehicle, I saw Karen on top of what I later would learn is John, but she didn't say that when I later would learn is John. It's like I see her doing something there on her knees on the ground, and it's like, now we know it's John. So it's possible that he's really trying to hit on her on something that's really not reflective of anything. But that's what defense counsel is supposed to be doing. And that's when we started getting into her grand jury testimony. And this whole funny back and forth there where he's like, did you say anywhere in your grand jury testimony, I hit him? No, you didn't. She's like, I don't know. Did you say? I don't know. I've been in a lot of grand juries. Did you tell the grand jury 3 months after, on April 26th, 2022? Did you tell him? She said, I hit him. I don't know. And what she did say was, she told the grand jury was that she said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? And then who did she say that to? Did she say that to them? Did she say it to the EMT lady? But Jen looked very defensive, which, look, it's not easy sitting in that jury box there. Don't make no mistake. Don't make a mistake about that. So someone looking uncomfortable when on cross-examination is not surprising, but he was hitting her with some pretty hard distinctions that, she's like, I remember it clear as day. I'll never forget the rest of my life how she said, I hit him. Well, you know what? Then you probably should have said that to the grand jury instead of claiming that Karen said, did I hit him or could I have hit him? Then he goes to the Proctor's report. His notes say, don't say I hit him. So what does she say to that? Well, I didn't write the reports. Then she calls up Mike Link. Mike Link, come on over here. I got some really important breaking news for you. This is before the Proctor report, the day after the accident. That she actually tracks down the number from Julie Albert. And his report says, I hope I didn't hit him. That Karen allegedly said, I hope I didn't hit him. You wouldn't be saying that to him if it's I hit him. You wouldn't be saying that. And they certainly would be taking that down because that is the ultimate confession. More than I hope I didn't hit him. They'd be taking down the I hit him. And he points out that in the first phone call or the first 2 phone calls that she got at 4:53 in the morning, there are 3 things that she brought up. One, hey, Jen, we got a terrible argument, we got a terrible fight. Also, I broke my taillight. And that she said, I think I hit him. This was an earlier testimony. But she never told anybody at the scene, never told anyone there about the whole tail light, never told anyone about the I think I hit him. You never told anyone about these admissions she's making. Never said it to a word. Never said a word to anyone about it. And the very last thing she says is, she said both. I think I hit him. I hit him. Oh, that's nice. They left out the really damning one and just put in the much less damning statement. That's very likely. It's not looking good for her. She's got another hour and a half, 2 hours worth of cross, according to Alan Jackson. And surprisingly, Hank Brennan is saying that his redirect so far would only be like 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens. We are off tomorrow. No trial tomorrow. I will be streaming, God willing, tonight and tomorrow. I hope to drop a vid or 2 at least tomorrow. And yeah, we're on this trial right here. I urge you to please like, share, subscribe. goodlogic.locals.com. goodlogic.locals.com. I will see you all when I stream tonight at 10 p.m. Did I miss anything? I think I'm good over there. Do a quick check for Rumble. I don't think there's anything Rumble. We're good at Rumble. All right. That's my show, and I'm sticking to it. I will see you all tonight, 10 p.m. Till then, take care of yourselves, and as always, Godspeed.